With the Nintendo Switch 2 on the horizon,
it's a good time to look back at this neat little system that combines the handheld and home console markets into one gaming system, bringing in new games and old games to play at home, on the TV, or on the go, wherever you go. And with 2025 being the final year for Nintendo Switch before the hype train begins for the successor, I think it's a good time to look back and count down some of my favorite Nintendo Switch games you could either play now or on the Nintendo Switch 2 with backwards compatibility confirmed. First off, no third-party games. I want to focus on the exclusives as much as I can. Second, some franchises will have multiple entries on the list, but some will just have one. Third, this is my list, not yours. If a game you like isn't on there, that's cause I either didn't like it enough to put it on the list, or I haven't played it yet. Anyway, without further ado, what's up y'all? Mega Me here, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 Nintendo Switch games.
Come to me, Ifrit!
Starting off this list is a tough one. There are many great Switch games out there from franchises throughout Nintendo's history, so it's hard to choose exactly which one to start with. Do I go with a 2024 title I enjoyed, or something from the last 8 years of the Switch's life? In the end, I decided to go with something that sort of kickstarted my JRPG phase that isn't Kingdom Hearts or Pokemon. It's also a franchise that gets hated on just for having so many characters in Smash. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a game that got me truly into Fire Emblem, and as much as I could have chosen Engage due to its visual style and improved gameplay, I think Three Houses overall has a lot more replayability with the multiple routes you could play through. Plus, I have a bit of a soft spot for it, with it being my first one. You teach your students as well as learn about the history of folding in the monastery and lead them into battle in a tactical format, and hopefully not get them killed, unless you're playing on casual mode. As you battle many enemies out there on the fields, the gameplay is great, music and cast of characters are amazing, and the stories with the multiple routes are really good despite the first half feeling slow if you ever decide to replay it. It'll all be worth it in the second half, which is part of why this is number 10 at all. I'll never forget my first playthrough of this game, just not knowing what I have gotten myself into, and eventually loving the journey I went on with the Black Eagle's house. Engage is also there, but Three Houses is the one for this list of mine. I do wonder when the next one is gonna be. There are many Nintendo franchises that ended up getting another chance in general in recent years due to the success and popularity of the Switch. And this franchise in particular is Pikmin, with Pikmin 4. And yes, I heard about this one supposedly being almost finished development way back in like 2015. Not sure exactly what happened there, but hey, it's out now for Nintendo Switch. I had played Pikmin 3 Deluxe a couple years prior on Switch and thought it was pretty good. Pikmin 4, however, blew me away more than I had ever expected it to. Visually, the game is gorgeous. Like seriously, it might be one of the most prettiest games I ever played on Nintendo Switch. Just look at all this. Gameplay feels so good and chill and is full of quality of life features. Music is also very unique and great. It's a lot of fun exploring through these different areas, going through caves and using many types of Pikmin such as Ice Pikmin, which are adorable by the way, to find treasure, rescue crewmates, take down creatures that want to eat us, and more. Plus, Ochi is adorable and best boy. With him, you'll be able to take down enemies faster and bring Pikmin with you over water, which is really handy among other stuff. The game is perfect for both newcomers and series veterans to give a go. Plus, for the first time ever in Pikmin, there are night expeditions which allow you to team up with Ghost Pikmin and Ochi in order to defend the Lumignos from the many creatures that are after them. For a long while, 2D Mario has been very samey. New Super Mario Bros. U being the last 2D Mario, the series got to a point where each game in the 2D Mario series has less charm and looks very samey. I mean, we did get the Mario Maker games, which are very good, as well as New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, but that last one doesn't help its case. So I was really excited to see a brand new 2D Mario that looks creative and different than anything that came before it, And that game was Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Wonder does something that 2D Mario has needed for a long time. A new game with a colorful art style, creative levels and concepts, and plenty of charm to go around. The controls for this game are perfect, and while each character plays the same, minus Yoshi and Nabbit, it's really cool to see all these playable characters. The badges are also great, with each one having a different effect, from using vines to grapple to gliding using your hat, plus the new power-ups and little puzzle stages, which are all well done. And the Wonder Flower, I gotta mention. They're genius and feel really trippy and weird at times, but they somehow work in a 2D Mario game. Every time you get a Wonder Flower, something batshit insane will happen. One level you'll be riding on a stampede of rhinos, another you'll be in space for some reason, and another will be a straight up musical segment featuring piranha plants. I never knew I needed this till I played it. If you never played a 2D Mario at all, or have played any of them, Wonder is a must play, and it's quite a wonderful experience. No, I will not apologize for what I did there. Kirby has always been primarily a 2D platformer, and I always loved them. However, while I liked Star Allies, I felt it could have been much more than it was. Still a pretty good game, by the way, I'm not saying it isn't, but Star Allies will never be what Kirby and the Forgotten Land is to me. The very first 3D Kirby platformer, and it is amazing and a lot of fun. Kirby is suddenly sent into a new apocalyptic-looking world as he traverses through grassy grasslands, sandy deserts, theme parks, and more. This game is Kirby at its best. Fun, charming with plenty of collectibles and content to keep you busy for a while, with many copy abilities old and new. You'll be able to upgrade abilities as well, so they can be stronger and more powerful than they've ever been in a Kirby game before. Mouthful mode is also weird as hell, but I'm here for it, as Kirby fits his mouth onto anything, from a car, to a cone, to a vending machine of all things. The level design is great, and the transition to 3D is flawless, and the story goes especially crazy towards the end. The gameplay is also fun, as Kirby controls perfectly in 3D and can even do a dodge like a certain Umber, which some of us know. And the characters are also great, with Elflin being the adorable companion that he is, as well as DDD, who's just as silly as ever, and Meta Knight, who's just so cool. And let's not forget, there is post-game content once you beat the game, and it is better than any other Kirby game after you beat it. It'll be hard for them to top this game, but whatever is next for the Pink Puffball will be nothing short of a strawberry shortcake. If you've known me since around 2018 on Twitter and a little site called Nintendo Amino, which I don't use anymore, you'll know I was a bit of an advocate for Sora for Smash from back when Ultimate was announced to the very last showcase. And when he was announced as the very last fighter, it felt like two journeys had come to an end at once. Super Smash Bros. Is not only the latest game in the series, but the biggest, with every previous fighter returning with the "Everyone is Here" tagline, as well as newcomers from characters such as Isabelle, Simon and Rector Belmont, Ridley, King K. Rool, and more. Many characters no one thought would get in. Ever. Alongside many game modes, from the online to the story mode, World of Light, which is honestly pretty good and is a good way to figure out how the spirits work. But I do wish there were more cinematic cutscenes, which yes, I'm aware of what happened with War Subspace Emissary. There are so many stages and characters, it's crazy, with over 1,000 music tracks, both remixes and original versions. It's a fun time with a friend or family member if you just want to play together. Plus, there's 2 fighter passes containing many characters from many games, such as Joker from Persona 5, Banjo-Kazooie, Sephiroth, Pyra and Mithra, Sora from Kingdom Hearts, my most wanted at the time of the hype cycle, Steve from Minecraft, among some others as well. I think it's important to note how important Smash Ultimate as a game is, because it's not just an ordinary fighting game. It's a celebration of video game history, with franchises both Nintendo and third-party being represented. It's hard to say what they'll do with the new Smash Bros. Because I don't think they can ever top Smash Ultimate, and that's okay. I'm just glad we got Smash Ultimate when we did, and whatever they decide to do next, I'm here for it. Also, Sakurai, I know you're working on some new game, but please take your break when you can. Number 5 is a different kind of game from the ones you saw so far. And this franchise, like Pikmin, was once a forgotten franchise with barely any love. However, now with Metroid Prime 4 on the way, a remaster of Metroid Prime out now, and the first brand new 2D Metroid since Fusion, fans are eating good. I was aware of the cancelled game Metroid Dread for a while at the time. However, I don't think any of us thought it would ever come back. And then E3 2021 came around and suddenly we get a new trailer for a brand new 2D Metroid, that being Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is exactly what the name implies. A feeling of pure dread as you explore planet ZDR looking for ways forward, exploring new areas, finding new power-ups, and escaping the enemy robots that want to kill you, which make this game stand out from the other 2D Metroid games. Dread is exactly what a HD Metroid should be. Fun, cinematic, and most importantly, Metroid in general. It is hard, but that's another thing I love about it. I love that it's not easy. Music is amazing, the gameplay is perfect and fun, and the controls are fluid with the movement and the counter, which is a welcome addition. And the story is amazing, a crazy and fantastic ending to the saga, full of twists and turns throughout. Really, the game is also short, but I genuinely don't mind it. Mercury seemed cooked with this game, and if they want to do another new 2D Metroid later down the line, just let them. They prove they have what it takes, and with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond finally on the way in 2025, the wait will finally be over. I've waited 7 years for this game. I can wait a couple more months and maybe even a half year. Pokemon has always been among some of my favorite Nintendo franchises as well as JRPG franchises, and while I like the recent games, I can only choose one out of the 5 main Switch games out there.
What the hell is this?
I can tell there are flaws through each and every one, but I had a great time with each one, though Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee I thought were just alright. And the game I chose for this pick is Pokemon Legends Arceus. While I loved Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield and really liked the Gen 4 remakes, I have to say Legends Arceus is one of the more unique Pokemon adventures out there on Nintendo Switch. The game has more of a solo adventure focus this time around, so there's only one version, which is great. Legends Arceus is set in the ancient past of the Sinnoh region, known as the Hisui region. The characters are amazing. Story seems basic at first, but goes crazy later on, reminding me of Mystery Dungeon at times. Soundtrack is amazing as usual. The open areas are also a lot of fun to explore, with features new to this game such as throwing Pokeballs at Pokemon, which is a lot of fun, dodging to avoid the attacks of Pokemon going on rampages, and the battle system, which has 2 unique battle styles to use. It's refreshing to have a different kind of main Pokemon game, where you're not on the usual Pokemon journey, going through gyms or an island challenge and just chilling, walking around, being immersed in this Pokemon game, while also filling up the Pokedex, which is very time consuming, but worth it. I'm excited to see more of Pokemon Legends ZA this year. Let's hope they learned from Gen 9's launch. Between the 2 big 3D Zeldas we got for the Switch, I actually went back and played Breath of the Wild again in anticipation for Tears of the Kingdom months prior to its release. The release of the game came around and I had a blast with it. And I think out of the 2 games, I have to give this to Tears of the Kingdom. I found myself immersed into Hyrule more than I ever have previously, with the story starting out as chaotically as it can get in its first minutes. Of course, nothing against Breath of the Wild, it is still an amazing Zelda game, but Tears of the Kingdom is just that, but more expanded upon. Plus, with the additions of the new abilities that, while addressing the issues present in Breath of the Wild, also allow for the creativity we never thought we'd see in a 3D Zelda before. Not to mention, the world being so much bigger with Hyrule, Sky Islands, and the underground depths. Exploring the world has never felt more expanded. And let's not forget, seeing how much Hyrule has changed in the years since the events of Breath of the Wild, all while saving the world from Ganondorf. Learning about the Zonai, helping tribes, taking down monsters, finding treasures, helping Koroks, as much little shits as they are with their Korok seeds. Every little thing in Tears of the Kingdom just adds to the experience that is this game. The music is great, the gameplay is really fun, voice acting is amazing, especially with Chris Hackney and Matt Mercer's voice performances, and so much more. It'll be quite a couple years before the next 3D Zelda eventually comes out for the Switch successor, But for now, I was glad to visit this Hyrule on another epic adventure one last time. When it comes to Nintendo and their RPG franchises, there are a lot of them. Fire Emblem is their strategy RPG franchise with strategy, lore, and relationships. Pokemon is the one massive multimedia franchise everyone knows whether they love it or hate it. But my personal favorite Nintendo RPG franchise has to be Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's hard to say which one should be on the list. Each game has their own strengths and flaws, but even then I can't help but love them. So fuck it, I'm adding the entire trilogy to this list. I could have easily put Xenoblade 3 on this list, as it takes what makes the first two games great into this absolute gem of a game, plus all the quality of life features. However, I feel it's best to start from the beginning with Xenoblade 1 and work your way up till 3. However, if you want to go straight to Xenoblade 3, I'm not gonna stop you. Just warning you, that's all. Each game of the Xenoblade trilogy has its own worlds, stories, music, characters, and so much more, and expansions as well. The combat is fun despite taking some getting used to. The soundtrack is banging and anime as hell. Exploring the worlds is so much fun, and the stories, dear god, the stories and the voice acting are just so damn good. I know I'm kind of cheating by putting all three games in this entry, but at this point I don't even care. Xenoblade is just too good. There are so many wonderful characters from Shove, Pyra, Noah, Mio, and many more I have yet to mention. Monolith Soft absolutely cooked with these games. I'll never forget getting into Xenoblade for the first time with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which yes, I first learned about Shulk via Smash, however that didn't ruin any enjoyment of the games I had. The stories are full of twists and turns that left me shocked. It's peak Nintendo JRPG, and I'm so excited to be able to finally give Xenoblade Chronicles X a go with the definitive edition of Xenoblade Chronicles X on Nintendo Switch this March. Man, Xenoblade fans are eating good. This was a game that launched in 2017, a game that made me want to get a Switch in the first place, a game that I watched a reveal trailer for over and over again after experiencing it watching the Nintendo Switch 2017 January presentation live. It was one of the most excited I have ever been about a video game, let alone a new Mario game, and that game is Super Mario Odyssey. I grew up playing the Super Mario Galaxy games, and at the time, they were my favorites, but when I played through Odyssey, that changed. Super Mario Odyssey is the big 3D Mario title for Nintendo Switch, and has Mario going around various areas called Kingdoms, as he collects power moons to power the ship called the Odyssey. With Cappy on his head, the pair are on an adventure to save Princess Peach as well as Cappy's sister Tiara from Bowser, who this time is trying to marry Peach. The kingdoms are very different from one another. You got a dinosaur land, basically New York City, as well as a very Nightmare Before Christmas-esque area, plus many more. Plus, they're great to explore. There are many secrets throughout, and controlling Mario has never felt any better in a 3D Mario game before. It makes me want to speedrun. The music is beautiful. It is undeniably beautiful, even if I like the Galaxy soundtracks a little more. Plus, with Cappy, you can throw him as a little extra platform to get over anywhere you wouldn't be able to normally, and with Cappy's capture ability, you'll be able to capture many creatures such as Goombas, Bullet Bills, a Fireball, a Mother T-Rex, as well as many more captures. And let's not forget the costumes. There are a lot of costumes, mostly for fun and don't do anything special, but they're still a joy to have, and as some of them reference other costumes Mario wore over the years. It's such a good 3D Mario. I even went on in 100% of the game. I collected so many power moons, it's not even funny. There's like 999 power moons in total. And if you want to collect them all, you'll be playing this game for a long while. Super Mario Odyssey is one of my favorite 3D platformers, as well as my favorite 3D Mario of all time since Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, as well as my favorite Nintendo Switch game. If we get a 3D Mario during the launch year of Switch 2, you know I'm there day one, Nintendo. You know I'm there.